Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's intergenerational service. The ringing of the concha signifies the start of the service. Please sit quietly in your seat.
Please rise for the meditation followed by the chanting of the Vandana Tisarana by the congregation in Pali English. This can be found on page 165 of the Brown Praises of the Buddha book.
Please be seated. Please turn to page 120 in the red Jodo Shinshu service book for the Sutra 12 Homages.
Gods and men all bow in awe to Amida the revered in Buddha's wondrous pure land. Bodhisattva gather round, golden form like the mountain king, steadfast like the elephant's pace, Buddha's eyes like the blue lotus. Thus I bow to Amida, Buddha's form round like the moon, bright like thousand suns and moons, Buddha's voice like the nightingale. Thus I bow to Amida, Buddha's figure on Kanno's crown, adorned with wondrous features, Buddha subdues evilness. Thus I bow to Amida, beyond compare Amida's pure virtues shining clear like space, all benefit from Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, Bodhisattvas all renowned, Maras to praise Amida, primal vow made for our sake. Thus I bow to Amida, golden haunts where lotus bloom, towers a throne of goodness, Buddha lives like the mountain king. Thus I bow to Amida, Bodhisattvas come afar, attaining true happiness. They revere the Buddha's face. Thus I bow to Amida, all life changes like the dew. We have no permanent self. Buddha teaches this law to all. Thus I bow to Amida, no evil in the pure land, and no fear of evil paths. Faithful hearts honor Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, saving us through many ways. No tempters, no evil friends. Birth leads to enlightenment. Thus virtues boundless like the sea. These virtues shared with others for birth into the pure land. Namandabu. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Please rise and turn to page 44 in the Windward Buddhist Temple Supplemental Service Book for the recitation Our Pledge. Reaching out to others, we'll share.
I would try to live in peace and harmony, just like the Buddha who shares tranquility and kindness with all. Moving forward from self-centeredness, I will share a life of joy and sorrow with others, just like the Buddha whose caring heart always embraces us. Realizing that I live because of others, I will strive to live life to the fullest with an attitude of gratitude, just like the Buddha who promises to embrace us all. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Please remain standing for the Gatha Children of Japan, found on page 29 in the Brown Praises of the Buddha book.
Please be seated. Our Dharma talk today will be given by Neil Yamamoto, a member of our board of directors.
Namo Amida. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Okay. So, as I was prepping myself to give today's message, I struggled to decide on what I would talk about. I thought about talking about my favorite gatha, or sutra, or some profound Buddhist teaching. And then I realized that I really didn't know too much of the gathas or the sutras, and I'm not the most qualified to talk about the profound nature of the teachings of Amida Buddha. I had a bunch of conversations with friends and even talked for a little bit with Reverend Burt about what I should talk about. And he said to me, talk about what you know. Well, there are really only two things that I really truly know. Most of all, I know history, as my friends can attest to. I'm currently studying to get my master's degree in World War II studies, and I have my bachelor's in history. And the other thing I know is food. And that's pretty obvious. I mean, you look at me and you don't get this way not knowing about food. I love food. I love food. So I'm going to take Reverend Burt's advice and talk about what I know. So I thought it might be fun to combine history, food, and maybe a little sprinkling of the Dharma for today's message, and which I have titled The Buddhist Wisdom of the Loco Moco. Everyone here knows what a plate lunch is. L&L, Zippies, Rainbows, Tsukenjo Lunch Wagon. They'll make pretty good plate lunches, and trust me, I know a lot about plate lunches. And we all know what a plate lunch consists of. 2 scoop rice, mac salad, some kind of protein or meat, and if you're lucky, gravy all over. But then it could be really anything. Everyone has their favorites though. Chicken katsu, barbecue mixed plate, curry mixed plate, roast pork with gravy, shrimp curry. But where does this come from? According to the website eater.com, the Hawaiian plate lunch originates in the 1880s on plantations, where workers would bring in a metal box their bento, usually rice on the bottom, some kind of pickled vegetable, and some leftover meat or protein from the night before. It was a high-carb, hearty meal meant to sustain the plantation worker throughout their day of hard labor. And then in the 1930s, lunch wagons started to pop up around town, and instead of serving lunches in the metal box, they were served in compartment plates, hence the term plate lunch. And as the plantation era shifted to office work, the plate lunch remained a staple of Hawaii's food scene. But what makes a plate lunch great? In my opinion, it's that everything works together. Everything has a place. And if one of those things is missing, well, plate lunch just isn't as good. I mean, who gets a plate lunch with corn versus a plate lunch with mac salad? Everything in a plate lunch depends on the other things to make the plate lunch taste just right. Take the iconic loco moco, for example. Everybody knows what a loco moco is. And if you don't, rice, hamburger patty, and egg, usually over easy or sunny side, unless you're me and I order it scrambled, which is much to the chagrin of my best friends who think it's blasphemy that I order a loco moco with a scrambled egg. and gravy all over, and if you're lucky, a scoop of mac salad on the side. Now I know what you're thinking. Neil, what does this have to do with a Dharma message? You've just been standing up here for 5 minutes talking about a loco moco and a plate lunch. And the truth is, I don't know, maybe nothing. But hear me out. In a loco moco, everything is dependent on others, on the others, to make the loco moco a plate lunch that is far greater than the sum of its parts. The rice has to be just sticky enough to provide a base for the hamburger patty and the egg. The hamburger can't be overly salty or peppery or too tough or too soft. It's gotta be perfect, just right. The egg, if you order it over easy, which I did this morning, it needs to be just the right amount of crispy buttery edge and a perfectly runny egg yolk to mix with the gravy and the rice. And then there's the gravy. It's got to tie everything together. Not standing out, but not silently in the background either. I know that in my experiences in life, I've depended on others to enrich it and make it better. And I know that if I did not have any one of the people whom I've had come into contact with in my life, it would not be what it is today. In short, everything has been a part of my loco moco of life. My family, my friends, and more recently the Dharma have been the rice in my life's loco moco, providing the base for everything. Our Sangha, my work, and my studies are like the meat and the eggs in my loco moco. They're important, but they have to be supported by the rice. My family and my friends support the work and the studying and all the other things that I do. And our Sangha stands strong with the Dharma as our guide. For me in temple, Amida Buddha is like the gravy of life's loco moco. Amida Buddha ties it all together, never overshadowing the importance of any other part in my life. Amida Buddha is always there to make everything just right. To me, the loco moco is the foodie example of the concept of interdependence. As the Golden Chain of Love says, what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also those of others. We in the Sangha and in our world are linked in the Golden Chain. That Golden Chain is like the gravy of our loco moco. The Golden Chain ties all of us together, just like the gravy in a loco moco. The end of the Golden Chain of Love says, may we all attain perfect peace. And as I think about it and relate it to my plate lunch metaphor, everyone's perfect plate lunch is different. For some of us, it might be 1 scoop rice, no gravy, or it might be a plate lunch of chicken katsu, no mac salad, and all French fries. For others, it might be no rice, tossed greens, and barbecue chicken. But for each one of us, that plate lunch is perfect. Similarly, everyone's perfect piece is going to look and be different, and that's okay. I like to think that Amida Buddha would enjoy a loco moco just as much as he'd enjoy a katsu plate with fries, and I picture him smiling and saying that each one is perfect, each in its own way. Thanks for listening to my foodie rant, and I appreciate every one of you, and Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Neil. That was a really good talk. Please rise for the Gotha Quest of Life, found on page 126 in the Brown Praises of the Buddha book. please remain standing for the Nembutsu.
Remember the golden chain, kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I gasho to Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Please be seated. Announcements.
Good morning. And
Morning.
thank you all for supporting us, lay ministers assistants in training. And you notice we have a new member, so pretty soon all of you are going to be in training. You know that, huh? Your time is coming. No, I'm just kidding. Some of you, I hope, noticed that we're all wearing name tags. The board and the program committee decided that maybe half of the year has gone by and maybe we should start to slowly get back to what we used to do. So we started off with name tags, and remember, for those of you that can remember 3 years ago, first Sundays we used to have recognized birthdays and we used to have intergenerational activities. So we're going to start that today. So Cynthia is going to do the birthday portion, then I'll follow.
Okay, good morning. We're going to be starting this month to celebrate birthdays again. But this time, we're not going to call names. We're just going to say, please stand if your birthday is in a certain month. So this month is June. So all the ones who have a birthday in June, please stand to be recognized. Please. Yay, all right, got 2 of them. Nice. Oh, thank you, Roy. Yay, happy birthday. Oh, me?
It's her birthday too.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Cynthia. We have visitors today. They're not new to us, but they're just visiting. Reynold Fujikawa and his family, if you could introduce them to us.
Hi, I'm Reynold, and I'm here with my wife, Kim, and my 2 daughters, Sophia and Isabel. So, related to Lisa and my...
Welcome. Thank you, Neil, for your wonderful Dharma talk. Oh, I love food too, you know. Oh, but I thought it was horrible to have scrambled eggs on your loaf. That's okay. Thank you for today's volunteers. We have Bob that was sitting at the greeter table. Thank you for Wyatt and Emma for serving as our MCs. And who played the piano? Lisa. I couldn't tell because when you're sitting up there, it's kind of hard to have eyes in the back. And as usual, thank you, Ryan, for recording our services. I told you about the name tags and First Sundays. Oh, before I tell you about First Sundays, you know, one of the things, if some of you remember, 3 years ago, before the pandemic, we had a wish box left on the back table. And what we had asked people that came to the service is to just drop in what you would wish we could do better or something new at the temple the following years. And we had like 4 suggestions. We're finally getting around to some of them. One was to have a outside guest speaker, and we had that individual come here. And one of the things that was suggested is, you know, sometimes we see the same people at the services all the time, and all of a sudden they don't appear. And we should really look out for each other and have a system where somebody would at least give that individual a call to see how they're doing and so forth. So we came up with what we call the Buddy Program. And this program is intended to strengthen the Sangha and to realize the interconnectedness among everyone who is part of the Sangha. Many people who regularly attend Sunday services may stop attending services, and instead of individually or groups wondering why, this program will provide a process whereby someone will connect with the absent person to ensure that all is well, and or if they have no means to attend the service. The program is limited to a well check and to provide transportation to and from Sunday services or other temple events. If more services such as shopping or other doctor visits are needed, then that would be beyond our program and we will refer them to Project Dana. This is a voluntary program. Members or non-members who regularly attend Sunday services would volunteer to serve as a buddy. The recipient of the buddy service may include anyone who lives alone regardless of age or anyone who no longer is allowed to drive to Sunday services. The buddy will make contact with the individual if they are absent from Sunday services to ensure that they are well and offer transportation to service. Now, the recipient, if they choose not to accept it, that's their prerogative as well. We just wanted to have a means for us to reach out to people that we see every Sunday and all of a sudden don't see them. So I have a list, I will have a clipboard there, and if anybody wants to volunteer as a buddy, just put your name down. Not that we have anybody that we need to match, but at least we'll know what we're working with, okay? So that's it. Then after this, we will go in the next room for refreshments. Then I'll set up the table in the back as I've usually done and set up our activity. What are we going to do today? You know, it was supposed to be intergenerational, but we don't have that many young people, neither do we have very senior people, but we have anybody that wants to do it. We're going to try to do string art. Okay? So I'll have it all set up. That one came out better than this one. But, you know, who knows? It'll be different things. So we can do this. If I can do it, anybody else can. So I'll have these set up in the back. Okay? Are there any other announcements? Okay, if not, oh, that's right. Thanks for reminding me. In the back table, you know, prior to the pandemic, we tried to go green and we weren't using paper plates and so forth. But since then, and even to this right now, not knowing how COVID is going to either come roaring back to us or not, we're going to stick to the takeaway bag refreshment system. But if you want to stay and have fellowship, we can sit next door and eat. So we don't need the individual plates that people used to bring. And so the plates and cups and things that remain I have left on the table. Some of them have names, so we'll contact those individuals to take them home. Joy, I think you have one there, so you can take those home. And if and when we ever get back to doing that, we'll let you know. Okay. If there's no other announcements, yes.
Cookie and that, maybe some chutney. We're gonna have chutney for sale
Oh.
on the door.
Okay,
Some table out there and I'll be out there.
all right. Oh, I should bring puzzles. You can sell puzzles too, no. All right, then Dana and her team has made refreshments. So before we leave this room, let's have words of thanksgiving. It's in your red book, little red book, on page 126. We are truly grateful for the wonderful food, a gift of life. May we share its benefits with all beings. As we partake of this food, let us remember Amida Buddha's compassion, which surrounds all people and all forms of life. Namo Amida Butsu. Itadakimasu. Thank you. So please go have your refreshments, and I'll set up the table in the back.